If someone had told Jonathan Carter that defending a modest stone bridge, just 20 meters long and arching gently over Silverwood Lake, would ignite a pitched battle against a crimson-jacketed homeowners association, he never would have stayed. But stay he did, because Carter's Crossing, built stone by his great-grandfather in 1931, was more than a passageway. It was the legacy of 3 generations. When HOA President Karen Whitfield ordered its demolition at dawn without warning, Jonathan discovered he held a secret far more powerful than any bulldozer: sole legal control of the Silverwood Dam upstream. If the HOA wanted a war, he was ready to unleash the lake itself. Each morning, Jonathan Carter rose before sunrise and padded onto his cabin porch at Silverwood Lake, inhaling the crisp scent of cedar and water. Behind him lay Carter's Crossing, a humble, 25-meter stone span that his great-grandfather, Richard Carter, had built during the Depression, hauling stones from the lakebed by hand. To Jonathan, the bridge was family history incarnate. The place his father taught him to fish, the spot his mother read poetry, and the refuge where he found peace after his wife Emily's untimely passing. On this particular morning, fog clung to the lake like ghostly drapery. Jonathan cradled a steaming mug of coffee, listening to loons call across the water. He felt the familiar calm, until a sharp crack shattered it. Boom! The sound sounded skeletal, as if old bones had snapped. His coffee sloshed over the rim. Jonathan's heart slammed against his ribs as he dashed from the porch. Splinters of ceramic trailed behind him. At the lake's edge, dawn light revealed devastation. The eastern half of Carter's Crossing lay in ruins. Stones scattered in the shallows, the main pillar reduced to rubble. Water rippled as if troubled by grief. A yellow bulldozer squatted nearby, its treads gouged into the dew-soaked grass. Its hood sported a crooked, Silverwood HOA decal, an affront to both aesthetics and justice. Leaning against the bulldozer, arms crossed like a conquering general, stood Karen Whitfield, red blazer immaculate, sunglasses reflecting his ruined bridge. A cameraman filmed her triumphant posture. "Well, Mr. Carter," she called, voice clipped as autumn air, "this structure violated safety standards. We sent notice yesterday. Now it's been cleared for public safety." "No notice," Jonathan muttered, eyes burning. "And no safety inspection." She shrugged. "Our provisional report deemed it unstable. Chapter 9 of our community code gives us authority." Jonathan's chest tightened. "That bridge belongs to my family. You had no right." Karen smiled thinly. "Community comes first, Mr. Carter. We're making way for Silverwood Lakeside Resort, luxury boardwalks, LED-lit marina, artisan villas. It's progress." He stood silent, fury coiling like a rattlesnake in his gut. The seasoned cybersecurity expert turned backwoods retriever of peace had never faced an enemy in the real world, until now. He saw the spectators. Neighbors who once waved from the bridge, now staring at the wreckage. Shame glimmered in their eyes. Jonathan took a deep breath, voice level. "Then progress will be measured by honesty," he said. "You just destroyed my family's heritage. I won't let this stand." Karen's smile widened. "By all means, Mr. Carter. File a lawsuit if you wish." She turned and walked away, clipboard in hand, the bulldozer's engine idling like an insult. As she disappeared among the pines, Jonathan stared at the shattered stones. Rage throbbed, but he forced himself to think. Carter's Crossing was gone, but it had been a symbol. What he truly needed was leverage. That evening, he pored over old deeds in his cabin study. Under Emily's faded sketches lay a brittle parchment, a 1931 grant signed by Richard Carter granting exclusive easement for Carter's Crossing and all water control structures on Lot 23B. A curious clause referenced flow control rights at Silverwood Dam, subject to perpetual stewardship by Carter heirs. He blinked. The dam upstream was still operational. He'd never paid much attention, assuming it was municipal. But these papers suggested otherwise. He phoned the Department of Water Resources the next morning. "Your dam records show Carter family retains sole control of the Silverwood Dam's outflow, with authority to regulate lake levels for heritage and safety purposes," the official confirmed. Jonathan's pulse thrummed. Within hours, he had photocopies of dam certificates, engineering blueprints, and modern flow control permits bearing his great-grandfather's signature. The evidence was irrefutable. He held the key to Silverwood Lake itself. That night, he confided in Emily's old journal, tucking the permits between its pages. The rage simmered into determination. They had started a war by demolishing his bridge. He would finish it by flooding their resort, if necessary, but first, he would fight by the rules they pretended to respect. 2 days later, Jonathan met Marta Reynolds at the Silverwood County Archives. Marta, retired records librarian, sprightly in her 70s, guided him to dusty shelves bearing microfiche and leather-bound ledgers. Together, they cross-referenced deeds from 1931 to present. The HOA's 2023 covenants included express transfer of all communal easements, but conspicuously omitted Lot 23B's flow rights. "Looks like they quietly overlooked your dam rights," Marta mused. Probably didn't expect anyone to read the small print. They discovered a forged 2019 document, purporting to transfer dam rights to the HOA, a deed stamped by Harold Stevenson, a county notary long retired. Armed with this, Jonathan tracked down Stevenson at his rural homestead. The old man answered the door amidst wind-tossed pines, hands gnarled but eyes sharp. "You notarized a dam rights transfer for a Walter Green?" Jonathan asked, presenting the forged deed. Stevenson's face paled. "Never heard of Green?" they asked. I stamped. "I didn't read every name." "When?" Jonathan pressed. 2 years ago, Stevenson admitted. HOA lawyers dropped it off. Then the audits began. I lost my consulting clients. My house burned down 3 months later. I never connected the dots, figured it was bad timing. Jonathan folded the road map. "You'll sign an affidavit detailing the forgery?" Stevenson nodded, relieved. "Damn right." That afternoon, Jonathan convened a strategy session in his study. Emily joined via video call from Seattle, where she now consulted on environmental policy. On speaker, legal counsel Victor Lane, known for landmark property rights cases, listened intently. "Your notary and deed chain confirm fraud," Victor said. "We can file a quiet title action and obtain a temporary restraining order halting any HOA work on lots 23B and adjacent parcels." A local surveyor, Elena Chen, contributed, "I've mapped the dam's embankment and lake contours. If we control the dam, we can regulate water levels, flood or preserve as needed." Jonathan took stock. Forged documents, eyewitness affidavit, dam control rights, expert survey. Enough to force an injunction. Victor promised to file the motion by next morning. Emily added, "I'll draft a press release for the local paper. We need public support." True to his word, Victor delivered the restraining order paperwork at dawn. Later that day, Jonathan served it on HOA President Karen Whitfield, as she supervised the final grading for the resort's tennis courts. She glanced at the papers, hands hovering over a white-gloved inspection. "An injunction?" she repeated, voice cultivated calm. "This is unexpected." Jonathan met her gaze. "No unauthorized demolition. No development on our reservation." She tucked the papers into her binder, jaw tight. "We'll see you in court." As the HOA's bulldozer withdrew, Jonathan felt the first flicker of victory. But he knew the dam was his trump card. He resolved to wield it only if the court refused remedy. First, he would let the legal process run its course, then decide whether water or words would win the day. That evening, local residents gathered on Mason's rebuilt porch, clutching mugs of hot cider. The mayor announced a public forum on the Silverwood Resort project. Neighbors, once reluctant, now expressed concerns about safety, environmental impact, and HOA overreach. One woman, the retiree who taught bridge on Carter's Crossing, teared up as she spoke of childhood memories. "That bridge was our meeting place, our quiet refuge. I don't want it lost forever." Jonathan listened, hardened. His fight had become theirs. 10 days later, the quiet title hearing convened in Lakewood County Court. Jonathan sat beside Victor Lane. Across the aisle, Karen Whitfield flanked by developer Charles Everett and HOA attorney Sylvia Marsh. The courtroom hummed with anticipation as Judge Elena Dawson took the bench. Opening arguments. Victor outlined the forged deed, Stevenson's affidavit, and the 1931 grant reserving dam control rights to the Carter family. Sylvia countered. The 2023 HOA amendment superseded all prior easements, pursuant to property law and community consent. Victor produced archival maps and Stevenson's notarization logs. He concluded, this court must uphold original property rights. Without a valid transfer of dam rights, Any HOA easement on Lot 23B is void. After 2 days of testimony, Judge Dawson rendered her decision. The Carter family retained exclusive control over the Silverwood Dam and lake outflow. All HOA development on Lot 23B was enjoined pending final resolution. The injunction was permanent. In the hallway, reporters swarmed Karen Whitfield. "Will you appeal?" they shouted. She slipped past cameras, eyes downcast. Back at his cabin, Jonathan and Emily embraced under the starlight. "We won," she whispered. He nodded, but his mind raced. The restraining order prevented new construction, but existing resort elements still stood: tennis courts, boat docks, villas. Sylvia Marsh hinted at an appeal. If the wall locked down appeals, he might need to level the playing field. By dawn, Jonathan had made his choice. He donned waders and trudged across soggy ground to Silverwood Dam's control house. Alina's surveyed tabs hung at his belt. Inside, the aged steel valve wheel awaited his hand. He closed the door, heart steady, and grasped the lever. Outside, the early morning mist curled along the lake. Jonathan opened the first notch. A roar erupted as water sluiced through the spillway. He stepped back, listening to the river's thunder grow. Within minutes, the lake's level began to drop. The first villa foundations emerged from the shallows, concrete pilings jutting from mud like broken teeth. The wooden docks sagged, boats grounded. Downstream, Silverwood Resort's floating yoga platform listed drunkenly to one side. Tennis courts, engineered above the old bridge site, now lay in a shallow basin. Visitors arrived in golf carts, dismayed to see their playground city-sized dry hole. Jonathan watched the spectacle from the dam crest. He felt no triumph, only solemn duty. He would not drown the resort completely. He needed the public's outcry to cement his victory. When court-appointed engineers arrived to inspect the dam release, they drew a red line through the resort map: foundations beyond safe elevation. An order to evacuate and dismantle was issued within hours. Karen Whitfield's last press conference ended in chaos as families demanded refunds and reparations. The developer's permit was revoked for environmental violations and fraud. News helicopters circled the receding waters, filming the abandoned villas and barren tennis courts. 3 weeks later, Jonathan presided over the rededication of Carter's Crossing. Residents from all corners of Silverwood Lake carried stones, each a token of memory and solidarity. Artistically fashioned plaques honored Richard Carter's legacy. Emily, radiant in spring green, cut the ribbon. Children ran across the newly laid stones, laughter rippling like the restored lake. At sunset, Jonathan stood on the bridge, eyes on the water that now brimmed gently at its base. The dam's gates were reset to historical levels, ensuring the lake's health and the community's safety. Karen Whitfield, now removed from the board, approached him quietly. "I'm sorry," she said, voice genuine for the first time. Jonathan nodded, offering a small smile. "Maybe start with the land's history, not spreadsheets." She nodded, tears shining. "I will." Jonathan turned back to the lake, wind sweeping through pines. Under that vast sky, Carter's Crossing stood not only as a passage over water, but as a testament to heritage, to the power of truth, and to a community reborn.